We got back on Tuesday morning, came home, did everything, and then by Tuesday afternoon, or yesterday, my days are mixing together. I think it was yesterday the power went out.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back to Mexico. The cruisehabit.com, bitches.
Cruisehabit.com, bitches.
I just want to drop that bitches in. I want to harmonize that as if my voice weren't fucked and I can't sing and I can't harmonize. I'm fucking tone deaf, so I can't actually harmonize it. I don't even know what that means, but I know it's a word that means something about something that is out of my reach.
My mom said that she was so happy that we had friends on board and she didn't have to entertain us. And I said, Mom, you don't ever have to worry about entertainment. There are methods. But luckily, we didn't have to worry about the methods. Somebody else did the methods, so we reaped the benefits of said methods. So I was cross-faded quite a few nights on this vessel.
When I'm not listening to the Big Sexy Digital Nomad podcast, I'm sad. What helps? Cruising. My name is Bill and I run Cruise Habit, a YouTube channel and website about cruising. Sometimes I'm vacationing, sometimes I'm doing the digital nomad thing from a ship, but whenever possible, I am cruising, or at least talking about cruising. I've got tips, tours, and more information to make sure you take the right cruise for you. Check out the channel and site by visiting cruisehabit.com/BSDN. That's cruisehabit.com/BSDN.
What up, sexy world travelers? It's your boy, Big Sexy, here with a big thank you to our big, sexy world travelers. They're the folks who went over to bullwiththebutthole.com and subscribe to the podcast. I want to say a big shout out to Billy with cruisehabit.com, Lee Popsicle, Margaret White, Angel Quo, Bree, Chris Lowry, Dalen Diggs, Jesus, Joshua Tarr, Michael McKenna, Sebastian Robbins, and Smitty Scoop. If you would like to have your name read out before the show, just become a big, sexy world traveler and subscribe to the podcast. Swing on over to bullwiththebutthole.com and join the fun. Safe travels.
What is going on, big sexy world travelers? This is Judgmentalist, fighting off a little bit of crud that I picked up somewhere, either in Las Vegas or on an airplane or something. I'm back. Big Sexy's back. Yeah, he was on a boat. Yeah, we're calling it a boat. Hate me. I don't care. It's a boat. All right? And here he is, sailing your way, Big Sexy.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever this is hitting your ear holes. I hope that it is good. It is good to be back in Mexico, but I'm not going to lie. I wish I was still on that Princess cruise line.
Of course, yeah.
On the open waters, enjoying my cruise ship fame and having a blast. It is. But I'm happy to be back in Mexico. Of course, we got back on Tuesday morning and came home, did everything, and then by Tuesday afternoon, yesterday, my days are mixing together. I think it was yesterday the power went out.
Oh, okay.
Welcome back to Mexico. Yeah, I think the power went out yesterday, so I had to swing on over to Acacao to get some work done, like hop right back into the grind. Though, still reeling from the joys of the cruise. It was an amazing, amazing cruise. Wife was thoroughly surprised by the locations. She didn't know where we were going, and she kept toying with so we're gonna, I got to pack a swimsuit for St. Thomas, St. Thomas, Jamaica. Right? She kept doing that, and I said, "No, I'm not going to tell you. You got to find out when you get on the ship." And sure enough, when the first port was St. Thomas, and of course they had that sailing to St. Thomas signs everywhere. So she goes, "Oh, St. Thomas," and we finally sat down for breakfast before we went to our rooms. And she, downloaded the app, opened it up, and then finally looked at the itinerary. And I should have recorded that moment. You know, I'm still in the I forget to record shit part of my life. I think back, oh man, that would have been great content. I'm not these young kids today. I don't think in terms of content. I'm just enjoying the moment. And then go, oh, but I got things that needs content. I should have put that on the content, and then I had the content for it, and I didn't get the content because it was a fun moment. The other fun moment in that time frame was when our friends Billy and Larissa. Well, actually, this was prior to getting to the ship. Billy and Larissa messaged. We're in a group chat together, and then they let us know that they were coming on board. They had booked the cruise, and they were coming on board. Our friends Billy and Larissa over there at cruisehabit.com, which is
Cruisehabit.com, bitches.
I can't do it. I can't listen to that and not want to chime in. It is a new version of an earworm for me.
The cruisehabit.com, bitches.
Cruisehabit.com, bitches.
I just want to drop that bitches in. I want to harmonize that as if my voice weren't fucked and I can't sing and I can't harmonize and I'm fucking tone deaf. So I can't actually harmonize it. I don't even know what that means, but I know it's a word that means something about something that is out of my reach.
Harmonious, something harmonious.
Yeah, it's harmonious, and I'm certainly now I'm not harmonious, but
right.
Carry on.
I mean, I can always
cruisehabit.com/BSDN.
And go to that, go to that website, show Billy and Larissa some love. But we're very happy to have them on as sponsors. But they came to the cruise with us, so that was wonderful. So that was the first surprise that Mila had, was that Billy and Larissa were going to be on the ship. And it was funny because I forgot. So it was a surprise for me too. I know that we had talked about it and they were questionable whether or not. And then I don't think he ever officially confirmed with me. And that's going to be the story that I'm sticking with. So that's why I forgot and didn't think about it until they mentioned it. I thought they were just going to come up and say hi and see us off. And then, nope, they were going to also be on the ship as well. And funny enough, he'd also sent me an invitation to the Facebook group for the Princess Cruise, but I don't see notifications for Facebook. I don't see those anymore. And I haven't been on the Facebook page in a while, so I completely missed that until like day 5 of the cruise. Oh, I'm in this Facebook group that I should have been posting.
Sorry, I had the cough button hit, and I was saying my notifications on the Facebook and on Messenger have been so screwy recently. Like you reached out about time today, and I was like, bro, I'm so sorry if this was from yesterday or the day before, because I'm just seeing this now, and somehow I happened to get it relatively timely. But to anybody who feels like I ghosted you over the past week or so while I was in Vegas, because yeah, of course, and it seems to be this time of year. Because 2 years ago, this time of year is when we ended up staying an extra couple of days. It happened again this time. We stayed an extra day.
Got you. Yes, we had to dive in. I would definitely want to hear all about that and dive into the extra time spent in fabulous Las Vegas. There's a lot of Las Vegas connections as well. I met several people who were from Las Vegas, 2 or 3, not several, who were from Las Vegas on this cruise. And of course, that's our short answer. That's how everybody asks, where you from? And I always now say the short answer, Las Vegas. The longer answer, and then I give the longer answers for some reason, because even though they didn't ask, I feel the need to expand further. Why the short answer is Las Vegas.
Just take the Jen Briney. I'm from the world.
Where are you from? I'm from Earth. Yeah. That's not as fun to say. Yeah, people's reaction to where you from, Earth, they kind of eye roll. Okay, Well, where on earth are you from? That's what they, whatever.
Don't say you're from Earth, though. Say, I'm a man of the world.
I'm a member of the world. Where are you from? Right now, I'm from Princess Cruises. Because I'm a digital nomad, so wherever I am is where I'm from. So right now, I'm from Florida. Because that's where I got to here from. I got on the ship from Florida. I got to Florida from Mexico. I got to Mexico from Spain.
See,
So,
once you get it, whatever the response, whatever you decide that response ends up being, once it becomes normal, because it has become normal for me, and this was not a bit when it started, and it just turned into one. But some time ago, somebody asked me how old I was. It doesn't matter the context, but they were like, "Hey, how old are you?" And immediately my response was, "What year is it?" Because I needed to do the math. And the reaction that I got in that moment, which was, again, it was not intended to be a bit, it has turned into one. It was so organic, and it was so like funny in the moment. And trust me, it was like only funny in that one first moment, but now it's just become that's how I respond. And sometimes because it's not something that I'm sitting around thinking about, so it ends up being, I still need to do the math every time because I don't know. It's not like a thing that I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
ever.
interesting enough, I am 53. For those who are wondering, I know I don't look it. Thank you very much. But I am 53, but in my mind, I'm still 52. Like, I keep wanting to say 52, and I keep doing the math of 52, and I have to go, no. I'm 53 now. It's because 53 is such a weird number. Right? I think 53 is a prime number. I could be wrong. For all my math heads, let me know. The people who are screaming at the radio right now, is 53 a prime number? I'm going to ask Google.
It's not divisible by 3 or 2 or 5 or 10. It's prime.
Yeah. Yes, 53 is a prime number. So I'm in my prime right now.
Yes.
Yeah. And I keep forgetting. I keep wanting to say I'm 52. And I don't know why that is happening. And then I realize that I'll be 54 this year. Right? Like this year.
Not a prime number.
Not a prime number. Definitely not a prime number. I was doing math with the missus for some reason. And we're doing time math. And I had to realize, I said, no, I'm 53. It was this long ago. And then she's like, no, when they extra, I said, oh, wait, I'm going to be 54 this year. That makes sense. The math you're doing makes sense. I have no more information than that. I don't remember what the context was, but that was what was happening. I realized I'll be 54. But luckily, I shaved prior to the cruise. It's growing back in now. Again, I was gone for 2 weeks, so I didn't shave while I was on the ship.
I'm going to Disney next week, and I'm thinking about shaving everything.
Like really?
Let it all go.
The whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah. Hey, look, this is the thing. I go through phases where I let it grow, let it be a full beard. Sometimes I maintain it as a goatee. If I'm going on stage, it cleans back up to the goatee or whatever. But I don't have right now a show for almost 3 weeks, and it'll all grow back by then, what I need it to. But I go through these phases where every so often, and it's been a while since I've done this, I just get that like itchy frustration, and I'm feeling that same feeling because of the congestion that I'm dealing with, that I just need to clean it all off. And I'm almost there. And since I'm going on vacation next week where nobody's really going to see me, I think I'm going to do it.
You should.
I probably will.
Yeah. I think I will as well. I think I will also shave down. I have my clippers. I have my razors now that from the last time we went to California, I brought those back, so I'm able to do it in house. I don't have to pay anybody to do it for me. Well, I might. Well, not this time around. I was shaving myself. But I think once a month I'm going to treat myself to a haircut.
Treat yourself.
I'm gonna treat myself to a haircut and get that taken care of and get clean shaven. So I was clean shaven for the cruise, which was nice because when I shave off, it takes about 10 years off me. And with these folks, I'm the age demographic on this ship. Me and the missus were tasty young things.
You were what?
Tasty young things.
Tasty young things.
We definitely were. We were the tasty hotties, the tasty young hotties on board. Because the cruise demographic had to have been like
Tasty young hotties. That's the episode title.
Yeah, mid 70s or late 60s demographic. There were some kids who probably bring that number down.
God, I need to start working on getting booked to do hypnosis shows on cruises. It's coming. My schedule's still not good for it. In fact, I've been so damn swamped recently, and with us being gone last week and being gone again next week, I'm just getting like, why did you do this to us? Looks, because the wife went to Vegas.
Right.
As I've mentioned before, if I'm booking a flight Southwest, it's almost automatic that I add her with the companion pass. And I tell her, I said, look, you don't have to decide that you're going on this trip, especially this one, because it was purely recreational. I had no conferences, no performances, no agenda whatsoever. Specifically, there were, some things that I wanted to do, but I'm like, there are no plans that I'm acquiring tickets or doing these things that I need to know that you're in or out until I get in the car to go to the airport. So you could literally bail or decide that you're in at the last minute. And of course, she's the type of person that takes days to pack. So I'm like, you obviously will make the decision before. I'm telling you when I need you to know, and that's when your butt's in the seat or when it's not. So, but she ended up going. We stayed at the Nomad that's at the top of Park MGM.
Nice.
And I was an asshole.
Uh-oh.
To not really, but to almost everybody that I knew in town. The only person that I actually reached out to and met up with was, okay, that's a lie. There were multiple. My Raiders players and RJ. Matt was on a ship until Sunday, and
Right.
I was not going to even bother to reach out to him because I was like, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, bro, you've been away from your kids and your family for 10 days, more than that because of the Joker's tour. I'm like, no, I'm not even going to tempt you with an opportunity to leave what you need to be doing. What I felt like a dick about was not reaching out to Kevin Lapine that I was in town. That was really the one. I didn't go to a show. I didn't do anything because we just kind of vegged. We just did whatever.
No, you went and you needed some you time. And so you kind of hung out, and people do that. You go to Vegas and just take it easy. And
went to the Bellagio brunch buffet 3 different times. We got some beef ribs there that are to die for.
Oh, yes, yeah. Oh, yeah. We went to the Crown Grill. I have to tell you about the Crown Grill. Put a pin in that. The steakhouse.
Was this as you guys being the tasty hot things?
We were. Well, we got on board. We're actually before we got on board. You're in that long queue line.
Yeah.
Ahead of time. And we started off by playing Count the Black People. Right. We said, okay, what's your number? And I really lowballed it. I said 14 or 12, and my wife said 15. And I mean, there were definitely more than that. There were maybe double what my wife said. There were maybe about 35 Black folk on the ship not working there, and Black people not working there.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of old white people. Old white people. And then we try to play the young people, but that's difficult because I realize that I'm too old to recognize the difference between somebody in their early 20s and somebody in their mid 30s and somebody in their early 40s. A lot of that shit looks the same to me. unless they have kids with them. And then, I couldn't, because it's all, family cruises, there were, high school kids there that looked 25.
Yeah.
And there were.
But it's super confusing in certain elements. If you're on a cruise ship that's got like a casino in it, most of them you only have to be 18.
Yeah.
So that changes the dynamic as far as how old is this person.
Right. A lot of times, yes. And
not that there's a big difference between 18 and 21, but
there is.
Legally there is, yeah.
Legally, yeah. And there was a mom and daughter duo on board that I thought were sisters. Right, that's how young the mom looked and how old the daughter looked. The daughter, I found out, was 23, and mom had her when she was 19. Right, so mom was 42.
Okay. I was trying to do that math, and I was thinking that how did a 19-year-old have a 23-year-old? But that she kept getting older every year.
Yes, every year she kept getting older.
Yeah.
And mom was 19.
I'm 19. My kid's 23. I know it seems weird. Time travel.
But I mean, they looked like they could have each been in their early to mid 20s, right? And so age defining was old. So we started playing. Okay, we're going to count you as a young person if you don't have any wrinkles.
If you don't have any what?
So, wrinkles. So the lack of wrinkly skin made you a young person.
But then that means that your 35 black people, no matter how old they actually are, fit into that category, right?
Well, no, because black people at a certain age do start to get wrinkles.
So they eventually crack. They just all the ones I know don't.
Well, I mean, it's black gold for the long time up into the 60s, whatever, and then all of a sudden, bam, old black man, old black woman.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah. But I mean, black don't crack. That whole phrase.
They don't. Yeah, black don't crack. Beige don't age.
And there's a ton of accuracy is not the right word. What are we talking about? It's a fucking podcast.
Yeah.
We don't do accurate here.
Tons of examples of that being the case. Case being your host, Big Sexy. I don't look 53. Black don't crack. My wife, Bella, does not look 50. She loves throwing everybody 50 and the reaction of, what? No, wow, oh my God. She loves that. I love it too. I love it too.
If she keeps the rainbow motif going, she's gonna stretch that almost an extra decade.
I mean, that's not going anywhere anytime soon. That is her. That is who she is. We became the sexy rainbows on the ship, with me being Big Sexy and my wife being a walking rainbow. And okay, so me, my wife, and my mom are the guests on this cruise. We're all staying in the same stateroom. And we keep looking on the thing and it says 2 twin beds. And I know cruise ship twin beds are for real twin beds. And we're like, but we're 3 people. And they kept saying, you're going to have to take care of it when you get on the ship. We're 3 people. We have to take care of it when you get on the ship. So we're okay, we'll figure it out. Apparently, the stateroom that we're in, we had a balcony, so that was nice.
Nice.
Often that my mom and my wife would get up early and go sit on the balcony. My mom thoroughly chilled on this cruise. My mom did 4 things. She either ate, slept, sat on the balcony and watched the water, or went to the casino. That's about all my mom did. That's all she wanted to do. My mom said that she was so happy that we had friends on board because she didn't have to entertain us. And I said, Mom, you don't ever have to worry about entertaining me. Like I'm not the one who need. I'm the entertainer. Yeah. What's that Walter White quote? I am the. Oh, people yelling this is what happens when you get old. Well, I may look young, but I'm not.
I'm the one that knocks.
I know he says I'm the one that knocks. Yeah, it's that speech, but it says I'm not. It starts off with, Yeah, I'm not the one answering the door. I'm the one who knocks or something along those lines. I was
Yeah.
trying to tell my mom,
I
I'm
don't
not
need
the
to be
one who needs to be
entertained.
entertained.
I'm the one
I'm
who
the
entertains.
entertainer.
That's
I'm
right.
the one who entertains. And so it turns out that there was a bunk bed in our stateroom that was in the ceiling.
Oh yeah.
So when the time came, we had to have the steward bring the bed down. When we go out, he'd bring the bed down, and we go out in the morning. He put the bed up.
We put it back
Right.
up. Yeah.
Put it
So
back
you don't
up.
bonk. Yeah.
Right. So my mother, my 80-year-old sweet, daring mother, retired education professional. She was a teacher. Inquired if she was going to take the bump. There was there wasn't a world, there wasn't any place where my mother, my sweet, dear 80-year-old mother, was going to be climbing this rickety ladder in this tiny ass stateroom to sleep on the bunk bed. As a matter of fact, once we realized there was a bunk bed that came out of the ceiling and it involved a ladder, the only person sleeping on that was going to be my wife. Not me. I can't climb ladders. I mean, I can climb ladders. That sounds weird, but I pee too much in the middle of the night to have to be climbing up and down that ladder all night long.
You're gonna give too much of this information. We're gonna have to change the episode title.
There'll be many options for episode titles in this one, I'm sure. So there was a bunk bed experience, which was maybe one of the few negatives on the voyage. There was maybe, I can count on one hand, how many things that were disappointing on this voyage, right? The bed situation was one. And I realize it's because I'm spoiled due to Virgin Voyages.
Okay, yeah.
I am. Their staterooms are bigger, right? They have wider rooms and things of that nature. The balconies have a hammock. It's a little just accommodation on Virgin Voyages were a little bit better than Princess. So, but with all that, it was still fine, still wonderful. And then our the moment that I really wanted to capture that I should have captured on video. We're sitting in the dining room prior to going to our stateroom, and my wife keeps looking around like, who else do I know? Who else do I know? Who else do I know? Who else is coming? Because I've already told her you're going to have some friends on board. And she kept looking around. I kept saying, I just got a message from one of the people. You can stop looking. They're not here yet. Right? So stop burning your time here trying to figure out if you know anybody. Just sit and enjoy people, whatever.
Now, when you said to her, you're going to have some friends on board, was that in the context of you're going to make friends, or was that legit you starting to tell her that, hey, it's not just us on this?
Oh, no, legit. I was telling her that it was not just us. Like I had put up, you were in the Facebook group and we had confirmation.
I didn't know that she was.
Oh, she was not.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I knew that you had people that were coming. Yes.
Yes, she did not know that we had people that were coming. We ended up having 3 friends, and then one friend brought somebody. So when she saw her childhood friend, Jen, shout out to Jen Messi, she walked up, she lost her mind. Said, "Oh my God, I can't believe it!" They hugged, whatever. And Jen brought a friend, a guy she was seeing. There's a whole lot of drama behind that, but that's her drama to tell. I don't want to tell her drama on this podcast.
And here I was about to drop a yeah girl.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it might not be quite the yeah girl situation, but
Well, relationships are complicated, And
I'm sure there was a fair share of yeah girl as well, but
yeah, but
I mean, it's a
very
fucking cruise
excited.
ship.
It was a cruise ship, yeah, 100%. Yeah, yes. And she like lost it, had a great time. So that was really fun moment while we're waiting, and then they came up, and then everybody's together, and so we were a group of 6, right? Our friends Billy and Larissa were group of 7. Our friends Billy and Larissa with cruisehabit.com, Jen and her guy Jim, and then me, Nilla, my lovely wife, and my mother Margaret, who is also a proud sponsor. She's a Patreon. My mom is a sexy world traveler of the podcast. So we had a blast. We waited, and then St. Thomas was our first destination, and when they get never to the island, so we got off the ship and we decided to get on the taxi and drive through. And the taxi takes you up to the mountain. You can kind of see the sea, the Caribbean, and buy some souvenirs and all that kind of stuff. And then take me back down to the beach, and then back to the ship, and we kind of just did that. That's just what we did at St. Thomas. We just did the tour, and got some good photo opportunities. Called it good, and then slowly made our way back to the ship. And that was day 1 or day 4, day 3, day 4. I don't remember how they counted. That was the first port. The second port was St. Martin on the Dutch side, which maybe you can explain this to me.
Good luck.
We go to a hotel that has a restaurant called Holland House. Lovely place. Shout out to Holland House. The drinks were good. The food was good. And we're hanging out with Billy and Larissa. And we look on the menu. We are in St. Martin on the Dutch side.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me why the menu has Dutch apple pie on the menu. When, if you know anything about Dutch apple pie, it's only called Dutch apple pie really in America. And it's only called that because it's actually a German strudel. But we have a hard time saying Deutsch.
Mm-hmm.
So we just got rid of that E. Get that E out of here. And called it Dutch apple pie, which is really German.
You were in the cruise port bubble.
I assume that's it.
That's got to be it.
It's got to be it. We took a water ferry from the cruise port over to the Holland House area, but still a touristy area. I'm pretty sure they still cater to your American tourists.
I wonder when all of us Americans run out of money under the current administration, does the focus change? Because obviously these tourist places, and I experienced this in Egypt and really anywhere else that I've gone, and you've done this at many, many cruise ports and otherwise, they know that here comes the money, and it is tailored toward that. And I could see the campaign slogans coming up now. And I know we don't like to be political on this, but Trump 2028, what more does anyone have to lose?
Everything.
On the day of the recordings, this is the day that I think all those tariffs go into effect. I'm pretty sure, not that I paid attention to it. The market.
It was yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
They went effect April 2nd.
The Dow is currently down 4% on the day at the precise time that we're recording.
Yeah,
points.
I'm hopeful that we can ride out this next wave of madness in Mexico, or maybe back in Spain.
Yeah, heard.
Or if we suddenly get a large influx of money, like we won a lottery, or our coaching businesses take off and they really, really bloom insanely, that we just go on a boat and just spend the rest of the time on a cruise ship. That would be ideal.
They do have. All right, so a few things. Number one, it's commonly said, and I believe that this is true, that it's cheaper to live on a cruise ship than to go to a retirement home.
Yes.
It's probably better in many ways. But they also have really long cruises.
Yes. I want to do one of those.
Yeah. Like at this point in my life, obviously, I can't even string together like a solid month to be gone. So it's not in the cards right now. But at some point in time, I don't know that I'm opposed to that concept. Obviously, I'd have to be in a different, my kids would have to be grown and self-sufficient on their own, doing their thing and being like, hey, and what I would want to do, this is what I would really want to do. Like if I did, let's say I do one of those 365 cruises. Let's say we do one of those 365 cruises one day. Not sharing cabins, of course, separate cabins.
No, separate cabins. Right.
I would want to encourage and potentially pay for flying my kids to some cool destination that I'm eventually going to port at, so that we're there. I don't know, it doesn't matter because I think these ones that are 365 or so days go everywhere, like many places.
They go many places, and oftentimes they will port longer than a day.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
I think so. I think some of the ports they port longer than one day. I think they port like 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days in certain locations.
We got to look some of this up.
As they stock up.
We got to find some and talk about them next week. No time to. We're
not today.
No. Not today.
Today's recap. Today is all about recapping my cruise and your Vegas trip.
Yeah.
Although, you know who might have that information?
cruisehabit.com/BSDN.
That's a good. I wonder if they've ever they haven't gone on a 360. I wonder what
they have not gone on one before.
I wonder what the longest cruise they've gone on is. We got to get them back on.
Yeah. Well,
we do have to get them back on, regardless of why.
Yeah, on the ship, Billy and I did record a special episode, a quick interview, old-fashioned style. So we'll probably plug it in. Old-fashioned style, meaning we just recorded the audio. I think we recorded some video as well.
Oh, I thought you were drinking whiskey.
No, the drink of this cruise was tequila.
Ooh, not for me.
I drank a lot of tequila and some vodka, and definitely had some edibles provided by another shipmate, somebody we met along the ways that brought some with us. So, somebody else's risk was my reward.
I will tell you that I know there was an episode 2 years ago, maybe, that we talked about the different methods to sneaking alcohol on board the ship.
We did. It was in the early times too.
You don't really need those methods when it comes to edibles. The only thing that I'm going to say about that is that when you buy them and they're vacuum sealed from the dispensary, keep them vacuum sealed.
Keep them vacuum sealed.
My wife, who's somebody who's aware of the way people try to do things like this, as I choose my words here, told me that some people wrap them up as gifts so that they look like gifts, and if somebody is searching through a bag, they're not going to fuck with it. I don't think that's necessary. I have never once had an issue with respect to topics that we may or may not be talking about.
Right. Well, and I don't mind giving this little secret away, or maybe I shouldn't. A friend of mine told me that what they'll do is they'll go and buy the edibles that look like orange slice gummies,
Okay.
and then buy a bottle of vitamin C
Yeah.
gummies
There you go.
and mix those two together.
So do they play roulette?
So they pull them out. They
Sort them.
sort them. They take pull out the middle of whatever, surround the edges with the vitamin C gummies, and put the other ones in there, and they cover the top. And so in this packet of vitamin C gummies is a pocket of
The goods.
infused gummies, as it were.
Right. There you go.
Yeah. So there are methods. There are methods, but luckily we didn't have to worry about the methods. Somebody else did the methods, so we reaped the benefits of said methods. So I was cross-faded quite a few nights on this vessel, and it's a rare. Like listeners, I don't drink much. I rarely ever imbibe. I don't do a whole lot of drinking. Our friends over at cruisehabit.com get unlimited drink. They have the premieres for that unlimited drink packages, and of course they drink. So, and my wife wanted to drink, so we were definitely doing shots in the club.
Hey, when in Rome, right?
Absolutely.
Or
Absolutely.
St. Martin or wherever you
Or
are.
St. Martin. Yep. Yeah. Have some Dutch apple pie on the Dutch side of St. Martin, and then go get high and drunk in the club.
Yeah.
Like you do. Our third port was San Juan in Puerto Rico. We didn't do much there. We took an Uber from the port up to there's a fort up there. There's also a historical site.
Yeah, Old San Juan.
Old San Juan at the top. So we went up there.
Did you run into Louis?
To who?
Louis.
No.
He's a big iguana that a guy will put on your shoulder and try to get money to take pictures with you. If Louis is still alive. It's been like 10 years since I've been to Old San Juan.
There was zero iguana in our life.
Interesting.
Well, we saw some iguanas no, we didn't see them. We heard about them. And we talked about them.
Oh.
My wife would not be happy about seeing an iguana.
Louis is probably dead anyway. I just Googled
I would imagine so.
The lifespan, I didn't know. I just assumed that iguanas were like one of those creatures that live forever, like turtles. Apparently their lifespan's like 12 to 15 years. 20 if properly,
Well, Louis II might be there.
Louis II could be there, yeah.
Yeah, Louis II could be there. But no, we did not run across anybody trying to throw an iguana, put an iguana on us. I did, however, go to the bathroom in the fort. So I did get to go inside without having to pay a fee because I had to go to the bathroom. So we walked all the way to the fort. And I got to go inside, get a couple photos, and then pee, and then walk back. And then we walked down from the fort back down to the port, from port to port, looking at shops and taking photos and stuff like that. Met up with Jen and Jim, who were having a little coffee in this little coffee bar or whatever. And then made our way back on board. Like the ports, we didn't spend a whole lot of time on these ports. Like we went to the only beach we did was in St. Martin, right? Because the hotel was right on the beach. And so I did put my feet in sand and in the water, so I can say that my feet touched the Caribbean. We didn't do any beach in St. Thomas. We thought about it, but by the time we got to the beach on the tour, we would have only been able to be there for like an hour or so before we had to try to find a way back to the port. And we just didn't want to deal with that kind of time crunch and hassle. So instead, we did just do the full tour. And then the biggest disappointment of all, we left San Juan, headed to Turks and Caicos, which is the place my wife was most looking forward to go.
Yeah.
It's the only place that I had a destination in mind, thanks to our podfather, Matt Donnelly, told me we need to go to the Osprey. So I had written that down, and we did not dock at Turks and Caicos because of weather.
Oh.
Yeah, the weather was too rough, so we didn't even dock. So
Oh,
we
that's
just
oh.
yeah, that really sucked. So we ended up having 2 sea days on the back end as well. Like it's supposed to be Turks and Caicos and then 1 sea day. It ended up just being 2 sea days.
That's oh. And you get what, like a $30 refund on your port
17
fees or some shit like that? Yeah. So it's like,
$17 per
and
person.
that's I've never been to San Martin, although I've heard very, very good things. I would have liked to have gone to Puerto Rico. I think all the time about because I can get direct flights on Southwest to San Juan and everything, and it's
Mm-hmm.
I mean the president's an asshole, but
True.
other than that, I've had good times there. Drank a lot of rum in Puerto Rico. Oof, oof,
Yeah.
rum buckets of rum by the bucket. Where was I? It was at the pool. We had a pool day. My host, who is amazing. Listen, this is a shout out. If you are a gambler and do not have a host at MGM Properties in Vegas, reach out to me. I want to link you up with my host. I feel like I owe it to him, but at the same time, I feel like I owe it to you because this guy appears to go out of his way. I asked, so one of my Raiders players wanted to go see O. About a
I
month or
still
month.
haven't seen O.
Neither have I, somehow. I also have been going to Vegas for 22 years and still haven't gone to the Grand Canyon, but that's neither here nor there. And it was super windy this time. And the first time I go to the Grand Canyon, I'm going by helicopter, so it wasn't going to happen this time anyway. I've already decided that that's how I'm going the first time.
Fair.
But I reached out to RJ. RJ hooked up some tickets, and apparently, like RJ's got easily the ability to comp his show whenever, wherever capacity. Obviously, if they sell out a show, he's not gonna be able to comp tickets. But for the most part, he can get whatever, no real restrictions, it seems. But to the other Cirque shows, he can only get limited quantities, limited frequency. Hooked my guy up, and for whatever reason, I mean, my guy fell in love with this show. And 2 weeks later, he's like, "Hey, any chance you can get me 4? My brother's coming to town on the 21st." So I reached out to RJ, and he's like, I can't. I can only do so many, with whatever frequency."
Especially for O.
Yeah, and then I was like, "Do you have any promos or discounts?" He sent me a link to all of that, and then before sending that to my guy, and what I really would have probably done was gone on and bought the tickets and then sent them to my guy, but it was kind of like a Hail Mary. I reach out to my hosts and I'm like, "Look, I know this isn't while I'm in town, but I've got, a client of mine, he plays for the Raiders. Is there any chance you can hook him up with 4 tickets to O?" Because it's at the Bellagio, it's an MGM property.
Right.
I want to say it was within an hour. I got a link that goes to these tickets. He didn't just hook these tickets up. They have this VIP experience where you have this private little booth.
What?
There's like champagne and all this other stuff. There's a pre-show tour and meet and greet and all this crazy ass shit. And it wasn't even like I know that when you're there and when you are staying on property, you can basically room charge whatever you want on that brand of property. And if on that trip you've gambled enough, they'll wipe it. This was not that. It was in no way linked to my stay. I came out a week later. I don't know. Like, obviously, he's got some sort of juice and he hooked me the fuck up. And I appreciate him. But then it didn't stop there. Like, obviously, I get the rooms and stuff and the suites for free. We ended up getting having to stay an extra day because of the wind, and the wife doesn't want on the super windy days, can we bump this another day? It was no problem with Southwest because they were not only aware of the wind advisories, but apparently there was bad weather back east. So there were delays and all this other shit, and they change you, no penalties, no change in price. Even if the flight that you're booking to is more expensive, they don't charge you the extra when there's like an inclement weather or delay situation. It was almost automatic to just get the room extended for another day. One of the things that he did, and hey, you're going to go to the pool? Do you want a cabana? Do you need a day bed? Any of that kind of stuff. So we took a day. Right. So the Nomad, if anybody's unfamiliar, Park MGM is the only smoke-free casino in Las Vegas. Not just smoke-free in the rooms, smoke-free on the casino floor, everywhere throughout.
Built on the skeleton of the Monte Carlo.
Correct. And right beside one of my favorite places to stay, New York, New York. Yes. And if you're interested, New York is not like over the top. It's super budget friendly. It's not the cheapest place, but I love it. I love the location.
That's where my mom stays. That's where we lived when we left Las Vegas.
Yeah. And so they've taken the top 3 or 4 floors of Park MGM and they've kind of, branded them as this Nomad hotel. It's not a separate hotel, although there is a separate lobby for it. And there's a couple of amenities and restaurants that you don't necessarily, I think, need to be staying there to use, but I think you get priority if you're staying there. Mm-hmm. But they also have their own pool. So if you think about it, there's only like 230 some rooms / suites. I think they're mostly suites that are part of Nomad. And you have to be in one of those rooms or a guest of somebody to go to the Nomad pool.
I do love this Nomad because it's on brand with us. I would love
it sure is.
Also, my favorite thing about the Nomad pool, if you go to the adult pool, it's optional.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. They have a optional section. I didn't know that.
So with the Nomad pool, and I was like, I'm super excited to go to the pool because I'm not really like, I don't go to the pool on the cruise ships. Too many people.
Okay. Yeah, we went to on the Princess Cruise. They have an adult pool section.
Yeah.
That not a lot of people know about. It was like tucked away near the spa.
Oh, cool.
So we ended up spending 2 days there, just chilling in the pool and the hot tub, lounging, meeting new folks. Shout out to Sammy.
So that's basically what this experience was, because if you think about it, only 235 rooms have access to this or whatever it is. I'm like, we're going to go to this pool. There's going to be 20 people there, if that. And sure enough, there were. And then we had a nice little cabana thing and all this other stuff. And when you got one of those cabanas, they are like, can I get you anything? Can I get you anything? You need me to come by less. You need me to come by more, whatever it is. So the wife ended up getting a rum runner, big one, like a 35 ounce or 32 ounce or something like that.
Wow. American gluttonism.
Yeah, there was rum in there, that's for sure. But it was just cool. I sat there, I read a book, just chilled out. It's very windy, but it is what it is.
Overall, how was the vacation?
It was good. It was good overall. I mean, we had one weird. All right, so I want to say one thing about the suite that we were in at the Nomad, which I think is probably their entry level suite. It had, as you come in, there's immediately to your right a bathroom, like a powder room bathroom. So just a toilet and sink, mirror, that kind of stuff, right? And you enter into kind of like a living room. So there's a couch and a TV, a little table with two nice chairs, like that Chesterfield style chair, and then double doors that open into the bedroom. And there's, king bed in the master bedroom, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's the only bedroom. There is a claw tub, like a soaking tub, like one of those freestanding tubs, which is nice. Those. Also kind of like, I wasn't expecting that in the middle of the bedroom. And then there's another bathroom off of the bedroom. It has a shower, a sink, a little vanity area. End of it. no toilet in the second bathroom. So it's kind of weird.
That's weird. No, wait. No toilet?
In the second bathroom. Correct.
Okay. So
or there was some secret button that you had to push to reveal it that we never found. That was the only weird nuanced thing that I was like, I would want to be different. But other than that, super comfortable, really nice, very clean, very enjoyable. But that was probably the only thing that I would even remotely consider to be a negative about the place. Obviously it's a smoke-free casino, so it doesn't smell like shit everywhere. Now, you really, really, like when you're staying in a completely smoke-free place, I feel like when you go other places, you notice the smoke more.
You really smell the smoke heavy, very much so.
So, by the third, I didn't realize I was like picking up some sort of crud, because it's normal for me if I'm going to Vegas for 3 or more days that by the end of that stay, I start to get a little raspy because of the smoke. And I wrote this off as that, but boy, oh boy, did I, super congested. Just starting to get over it now. I've hit the cough button probably 30 times during this recording. It is what it is.
Yeah.
The only bad thing didn't happen directly to us, but we went to, I took my players to see Mystère. And before that, we went and grabbed food over at it's called Lavo over at Venetian or Palazzo.
Okay.
And so we're sitting there, we're waiting for our food, and all of a sudden we hear what sounds like a waterfall.
Wait, somebody peeing?
Like water flowing. Worse. Yes, believe me, worse. Turn around, and there is a dude who clearly had too much party in him, just
hurling
into a planter. Half in the planter, half on the floor, probably like 12 feet from us. And it was kind of one of those situations, and my wife and I talked about it afterwards. We were talking to RJ about it after the show, and it was like, if I weren't there with 2 of my NFL player clients, I would have probably raised a huge fucking stink. And we assume that if they weren't there with their agent and his wife, that they would have made a bigger deal of it too. So it was kind of like that, we're just trying to be professionals here.
You kept each other in check.
Note of it. We certainly made hey, I know that they cleaned all that up, but you're going to want to get rid of that plant, because half of what you guys cleaned up, the other half is in that fucking planter. And then 5 minutes later, somebody comes by and they're spraying Febreze. I'm like, that is not going to do it.
That's not going to do it. It's not enough. Oh, that's. I wonder what his story is like. Oh, his story is probably like, yeah.
Well,
man,
and then the guy, they kind of take the guy out, and I see that somebody from the restaurant bringing the check over to the other people that are at the table, being like, sorry, but you got to pay this and leave. And there's like all this confusion on their place, and I'm sitting here thinking, and then the guy tries to come back to the table, and I'm like, bro, you're lucky that you're just getting kicked out, and that you're not getting 86 from the whole property, because most of these places, like, you're done, especially a place like, Venetian Palazzo.
Yeah.
Very high end,
very much so.
Very small. They don't need you. Like, there's plenty of people always there. It's not like something that they really have, it's not that difficult. Like if you're MGM or Caesars, who have like 9 properties or so each, I don't know what the exact number is. Don't get me wrong. They got all this face recognition shit in their cameras, so they know.
They know.
It's not as complicated logistically, but that's work to 86 somebody from one of those bigger chains. Right. But at Venetian Palazzo, peace, brother. You're out. Like,
yeah. Speaking of face recognition, they had face recognition on the cruise ship, and it's funny. My mother was dealing with guest services or whatever, and they were looking at the thing, and she asked him, "How do you know it's me?" And he very calmly said, "I'm looking at your picture right now." The whole face recognition thing. My mom takes a while to go, "Oh, all right." They can. As we walk up, like as you walk up, the medallion, it senses the medallion nearby and it knows who you are, and it shows your picture on the doorway. Welcome. The door unlocks before you even get to it. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool. It made me miss Virgin. I'll say that. It made me miss Virgin Voyages. So, well, we definitely. So, hope maybe we'll. Do you know when you're going to Vegas next?
Maybe maybe late June.
Okay. I don't know when. I know we're nose to the grind now. I don't know if we have any travel plans coming up. I know that we're going to look at checking in with the embassy here and have my wife renew her passport. We may do that here, but I might take a trip back to Vegas. I definitely want. I still want to go back to Scoop Fest. We'll talk about that later. But I was thinking,
I don't think I'm making Scoop Fest this year.
Not again, no.
And that's because I didn't think I was going to make it, and then, Cake, the band Cake from the 90s.
Yeah.
They announced a new tour, and they're doing a show in Baltimore, and it's the weekend of Scoop Fest, and I bought tickets. So
you won't be there. You'll be at Cake.
I am probably not going to be. Look, all that stuff is. Trust me, I can find somebody to take those tickets, but I also am probably going to that show.
Yeah, I figured as much. Well, my plan is to be there. Now that we're not going on the transatlantic, my plan is to be in Vegas in September. That's gonna be my birthday trip. I'll make that my birthday trip. Yeah.
Yeah. The June
we got
thing,
no plans.
Kevin Lepine's 50th birthday is in June, and I'm thinking that I'm making that jaunt to celebrate.
Sweet deal. Excellent. Well, we'll probably get into all that and more in our future travel plans. Shout out to the people who learned Mahjong on Princess with me. Only a few folks. I'll probably talk about more about the people that I met next episode. Yeah, it was a lot of stuff happens. So I didn't think I'd be able to fit it all in one episode, and I was right. I couldn't. So that's something I want to talk about. But listeners, if you want to get access to all the fun stuff and the behind the scenes stuff and all the extra videos and stuff, swing on over to our Patreon at bullwiththebutthole.com. Join now. We're publishing those episodes. Get access to interviews early. Get access to the videos just by being a member. If you become a paid subscriber, then we'll read your name out in the beginning and also give you access to extra fun shit and different videos and content as well. Also, send us email at bigsexynomad@gmail.com. Send us your stories. Send us your cruise ship stories. Send us your travel stories. We would love to have a section of our podcast where we read listener mail. But in order to do that, we need listener mail.
Yeah, that math checks out.
Yeah. So in order to read it, we need it. So send us a letter, something small, doesn't have to be big, just whatever, to bigsexynomad@gmail.com, and we'll read your letter on the air. If you have any questions, we'd love to answer that kind of stuff. We haven't ever done it recently. The wrong answers only, which is playing on improv. That seemed to wither on the vibe, but I still love to do it if you want to do that. If you have a parody song you want me to write and you're a Patreon subscriber, send it in. I'll be happy to put it together, put my skills to the test, and see what's what. But we thank y'all for checking. Don't forget the merch. You can get the Big Sexy Digital Nomad merch. Shout out to Billy and Larissa who showed up with their Wearing the Road is Big Sexy shirts.
Yeah,
I'll be posting those photos on our Patreon as well. So big shout out to them. And
this is the first this trip. I wore it one day, which I normally do. First time that I didn't have somebody approach me and ask me about it. Weird.
Interesting.
But
Well,
it's in the wash, and it'll be on its way to Disney World next week, and maybe we'll get a chance to chat about it there.
I hope so. I think fingers and toes, and if I could, my nose. All right, y'all. Thank you again for listening. We appreciate y'all. And this is how long it's been since I've done this. I almost hit end recording instead of the
Oh, there's
outro.
music coming.
There's music coming. Because like I always say, in the meantime, safe travels.
Safe travels.